It's Tim Albright with AVNation in the Biamp booth at ISE 2017 with Chris talking about T-Lux, sir.
Oh yes, T-Lux.
T-Lux. So this is, not to confuse any of our listeners or our audience, this is not the debut of T-Lux, period.
Nope.
But this is the European debut.
It is a debutante in Europe, yes.
The debutante.
We announced it at Infocom, and we're bringing it here this year, and we're shipping it in April, Q2.
Okay.
It's the stated date right now, so we're nearly there. We're preparing for liftoff. It's pretty exciting.
What's been the response in the European market specifically about T-Lux and also about AVB?
The response to Tesira Lux has been very, very good. It's been very positive. I think a lot of people are keying in on the converged audio and video element of Tesira now. We can do both inside the same system. That's a unique feature for us. And the response to AVB has always been, yeah, we like that, but switches. And so I think what we're seeing this year, certainly with Cisco finally arriving in the AVB space, is that response has also been a lot more positive than perhaps it had been in the past. So
because having you guys with the video, honestly, which is one hurdle, and you're right about the switches, having a premier switch company like Cisco coming on
it's
board.
Definitely and we'd like to pretend that was all planned, but it's really just been a really good aligning of planets in the last sort of 12 to 18 months on that.
So if you're not familiar, if somebody's not familiar with T-Lux and with Biamp's take on the video part of AVB, explain to them for a second, how does a box like this or T-Lux work when it comes to inputting video into the system? Okay,
so each of these, we have two devices in the family. We have the encoder and the decoder, so it's just like all of these other IP streaming solutions, except that with Tesira Lux, we're using AVB to transport the video. So we have a fully capable 4K scaler inside each of these. We can accept inputs over HDMI on DisplayPort, we can output over HDMI. It's 4K 60, 444 because it's HDMI 2.0, so that's the latest spec. Later on this year, we'll also support HDR10 over that as well. So it's all baked in hardware-wise. It'll be a firmware update. And then essentially you can take embedded audio from the HDMI source and de-embed it, smash it off into a Tesira DSP, process it, bring it back, re-embed it, output it over HDMI, or you could take some completely separate audio input and embed that into the video. So we can really be completely flexible with the media in both the audio and the video domain and kind of shuffle it around as you like. It's pretty unique in that regard. If you look at some of the other options out there, you've either got to get a Dante implementation, or you've got to come in over analog, or do some cross-system integration, and that's just harder to do than if you're in the same software platform, like with familiar Tesira software. You can do audio and video in the same operating environment.
So walk me through that. If you're familiar with the Biamp Tesira software, the DSP software, so you're just bringing in a audio stream from the AVB, from the Tesira T-Lux video, and manipulating it in whatever way.
Exactly. Treat it just like any other channel in our system, and then put it back in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we use, people that are familiar with the software will know about our DSP blocks and our partitions, so we just added a new partition type, a video partition, and video input blocks, and then those blocks represent one of these devices, and you can take the audio off the aux input or out of the HDMI, partition connected into the audio partition, and you're off in Tesira land.
Can I tell you, and totally not anything indicative of T-Lux in general, but the addition of partitions in your software was absolutely huge to me, right? I'm a programmer, and that's what I did. Started getting into DSP, and I worked with Nexia, right? Open platform, and my very first Tesira class. And it is the simplest little tab, that partition, right?
Yep.
But it's the biggest. It was the biggest thing in the world. Right, because now you can visually start connecting different rooms and different things, and not overwhelm your canvas.
Yeah, and I think we recognized with Tesira Lux that we were going to force you to use partitions. Some people like yourself like partitions. Others were like, I want to stick in the traditional manner and use one canvas.
Yeah.
But with T-Lux, we were going to make you use partitions. So what we've done is really enhance that partition experience a bit further. We kind of redid our partition connector metaphors, and we've got this system overview screen now where you can see the relationships between the different partitions and actually make partition connectors in that view. So you can click on a node in partition A, connect to partition B, or do whatever you need to do without getting too far into menus and so forth. So we're really having kind of force you into using partitions now, we've tried to make that experience as seamless and intuitive as possible.
Makes sense. All right, if somebody is here at ISE and they want to come by and see T-Lux, where do they find you?
We're in 3A75, so we're right in that main entrance hall, off the I-5 corridor, as we call it.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome to come along and see the product, get a demo. It's running our whole booth, so all of the audio and video at Biamp this week is all running on Tesira.
All right, very good. And if they're not here at ISE, how do they find you guys on the web?
Find us at biamp.com. And again, there's a bunch of information there and design guides and all good stuff on the Tesira platform and our other product.
All right, Chris, thank you so much.
Thank
For
you,
more
Tim.
information about us, you can go to avnation.tv.